Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I have my first story time for you guys, and I want to tell you about my evacuation nightmare. So a couple years back, there was a really bad hurricane that hit South Carolina, and I believe it might have hit some of North Carolina and Georgia. I don't know the exact span of this hurricane, but it was Hurricane Matthew, and at the time I lived in South Carolina. I was born and raised on Hilton Head, and that's where the hurricane really devastated really bad. I know it really was awful in Charleston as well. And at the time I lived in Hardeeville, which is 30 to 45 minutes off the coast of Hilton Head. But a friend and I, we lived in a camper together, and obviously it wasn't safe for us to be in a camper in the middle of a hurricane, especially in the area we lived was the middle of nowhere, and there was a ton of trees around us. It was just not a good situation. So we evacuated to my mother's house. All day we had both been at work because we had worked several jobs, and we had been planning, we were gonna get off work, we were going to take my car to Walmart and go to Columbia to stay with my mother. Lexington. I'm sorry, my mom will get very offended if I call where she lives Columbia. Sorry, Mom. Anyway, so we get halfway through the day, and my friend has another friend that's, her friend, and then I met him through her, that had nowhere to go because he wasn't from the area. He didn't have anybody anywhere close. I don't even remember where this dude was actually from, but beyond the point, he didn't have anywhere to go, and he was just gonna stay on Hilton Head in the middle of a Category 4 hurricane, which is just not good. The island was already below sea level. I'll insert some pictures of the devastation that happened afterwards so you can understand why it wasn't okay for this man to stay on the island, especially because he lived in an apartment on the beach. There was just not a good situation. So I called my mom and I asked her hey, this guy has nowhere to go, and my mom, being the wonderful woman she is, she was just yeah, of course he can come. I'm not gonna let somebody be stranded in the middle of a hurricane. So we pack up, we get home from work, and we pack up, we're getting all of our stuff together, trying to put our plan in motion. So originally, I was gonna leave my car at the Boys and Girls Club where I worked. And this man, we'll call him Phil. Phil was going to leave his car there too. So we were at home packing up, and he was leaving Hilton Head to meet us halfway because the Boys and Girls Club was halfway between our house in Hardeeville and his house on Hilton Head. So we were gonna meet there and then go off from there. So he gets to the Boys and Girls Club before we do because we were still at home packing as girls. We were taking a really long time. And also at the time it was this could be the last time we see all of our belongings, what is really important to us. So we were trying to pack strategically. So he gets there, and there's cops there because, it's a disaster approaching. They're trying to set up for what's to come and get everything ready. I had gotten written permission from my boss to keep our cars parked there. It was gonna be fine. But this man was so paranoid, he was on some drugs, and he was just freaking out because there was cops there. So the first thing, he calls us and he starts cursing us out no other. I've been yelled at plenty of times, don't get me wrong, and I don't have I don't have a soft skin. If you yell at me and curse me out, most of the time I'm not gonna care. I don't care. The motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg. But this man was screaming at me. I've never had somebody yell at me like that before. It was insane. So he's saying that we set him up, and that we were trying to get him in trouble with the cops, and that we were trying to get him arrested, which I have no idea what led him to this thought process, because we were trying to be nice. We were trying to give him a place to stay. We were trying to keep him safe. sorry. And I didn't understand it. So finally, like, I grabbed the phone from her because you can hear him screaming. And I was just like, shut the up. I'm not going to curse my channel because I'm trying to be better. But I was just like, shut the up and meet us at Walmart, and we'll just leave our cars at Walmart and we'll go. So I drive my car to Walmart. He drives his car to Walmart. My friend drives her car to Walmart. And we all go to get in her car to leave. And he throws his stuff in the trunk. We're not paying any attention. We drive to Columbia. Cool. No big deal. We're happy. We're there. We're safe. My mom's fully prepared to have us there. Like, we're just having a good time at this point. We're having some beers. We're hanging out. We're chilling. So the next day we decide we're going to go to the mall. And we're going to, like, just walk around, have some fun, whatever. And then we go to dinner. Or it might have been lunch. I don't know. We go to Red Robin to get some burgers. And we're eating, and we go to pay, and he was just like, I don't have my wallet. And we're like, okay. So we've been there for like almost 24 hours at this point, maybe like a little bit less, because it was like the afternoon / night of the next day that we were there. So not quite 24 hours, right? So he doesn't have his wallet, which means he has no money, and we're there for like who knows how long. So apparently this guy had been golfing all day instead of packing and like trying to get prepared. He just like spent his whole day golfing, and then he left his wallet in the golf cart. So he didn't have his wallet, and like we didn't even know if he would be able to get back to Hilton Head, like when that would be happening, or like what would happen, you know? So this man's stranded, no ID, like no form of identification, no money, nothing, like nothing. And then he comes to he continues on to tell us that he also forgot to bring clothes.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never.
Like, this man only brought a cooler full of beer and his Xbox. And I'm not even kidding. No clothes, no socks, no shoes, no underwear, nothing. Nothing. And there's no amount of time that we're set to stay here. Like, this hurricane is on its way. It's still a good 2 days out. And then you have to, like, the storm has to happen. And then there has to be recovery for you to even get back onto the island. Because the island is obviously, like, it's an island, which is land surrounded by water. So like the bridges have to be checked before you can come back. Like, trees need to be cleared. Like, this was not a joke. So he doesn't have any clothes, no money, nothing. And is also like an avid alcoholic, which we didn't know. Not that we didn't know, we just knew he liked to drink, but like we didn't know the extent until we were forced to stay with him for 2 weeks. Like, this man stayed with me and my mom and my friend for 2 weeks. And he would open a beer at like 7:30 in the morning before he even ate anything. Like, it was ridiculous. And then he would get angry. And so my friend got sick of it, and she went to another person's house and like didn't leave us, but like she went to stay with like another guy because this dude was like harassing her. Like, he would text her and be like, bring me beer, and like demanding things. And she took him to Target and bought him shirts. She bought him shorts. She bought him underwear. She bought him socks. And like my mom was doing his laundry. Like, he was doing nothing but sitting drinking. Oh, I cursed. Sorry, we'll bleep that out, right? So we get I think it's probably the end of the next week. And there's one night we're all up at the table and we're playing games and drinking, like me and my mom, him and my friend. And we were drinking, playing some games, and then he was like, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed. And my mom was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed too. Like, so my mom goes to bed, he goes to bed, and me and my friend decided to watch a movie in the living room. And he starts freaking out because he's like, you don't want anything to do with me, talking to her, like not me, because him and I weren't really like that close. And you don't want anything to do with me, you don't want to be around me, blah, 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 just like going off on her. And so then, like, in my mother's house, let's get this straight, he starts screaming in the middle of the night, yelling at my friend. Like, he throws an air mattress out of the bedroom, is like throwing all of her clothes out of the bedroom, and it's like, 1, where do you get off? 2, like, this is not your house. Why are you acting like this? And it's like quiet hours. My mom lives in an apartment building with like thin walls. She's in the middle floor. Like, there's people on almost all sides except for like the window, you know? So he's like freaking out. And she finally goes in there and she's like, you will not act like this here. Like, we gave you a place to stay. You're disrespecting her mother, blah, blah, blah. So the rest of the trip, he's like dead silent. Like, he barely says like 2 words. He doesn't say, like, he just like sits on the couch and like pouts, or is like in the spare room pouting. And like the spare room, my mom's spare room, is just like kind of like an office. Like, there's a couch in there, but like it doesn't pull out, or it didn't at the time. So like it was just air mattresses. So he just like sat in this room for like almost 2 weeks because there were so many trees down that we couldn't get back. Like, we couldn't get back to our house in Hardyville, which was even closer. And then Hilton Head, and then Hilton Head was closed. Like, we were just like trapped there with this crazy man that like every day would just like drink himself silly and then like curse us out and like pout, and just like, it was awful. I've never like met a human being that just like was so irresponsible. And he was older than us. Like, he was way older than us. I think I was 19 at the time. Maybe I was 20. I don't know. I'm almost 23 at this point. So I could have been 20. I don't know how old I was. I don't remember. But honestly, it was one of the worst experiences I've had. I was really grateful my mom was there, and she's the kind of person that just like doesn't care. So if you're having a fit, she's just gonna be like, can you, like, if you're gonna freak out and have a fit, can you just like go over there and keep it away from me? Because I'm just trying to have fun. And we really were having a lot of fun. Like, we were just like spending time together and playing games. I mean, we have board games and movies and going to do different things. Like, I don't know. I honestly wonder what this man thinks about it to this day. And I think he got his wallet back, hopefully. But I don't know. It was awful. And then after that, he didn't talk to us for a while. Eventually they became friends again for a little bit, and then it all exploded again later on down the road. But that blow up I wasn't as much involved in. I guess the only reason I was involved in this one was because we tried to be nice and give him a place to stay. So I guess be careful. Be careful who you get to know, and be careful who you bring home to your parents. Because my mom will never forget that guy, honestly. If you guys enjoyed this story, leave a thumbs up and a comment down below about any other crazy stories you want to hear from me. I do have a lot of story times coming in the works, along with makeup and some reviews that I'm working on. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment down below, and tell me what you want to see next. Bye, y'all.